Hello, you guys. This is Mareka from Spirit Search Pentacle. I hope you guys are having a great evening. So, today I wanted to talk about the way to energetically heal your relationships, present and past, and future. And the key to doing that through taking responsibility. So, we're going to talk about exactly what that means, why it's the key to healing your relationships, and a short exercise on helping you to strengthen the ability for you to continuously take responsibility. So, what does it mean to take responsibility in order to heal your relationships? First thing it means is accepting that there were little choices throughout the relationship, especially dealing with ones in the past, because your relationships in the past inform the ones that you're currently in, as well as the ones you could get in the future. Even though you might have been in a really bad situation that puts you in a really bad headspace emotionally, and it maybe caused you to have some excessive wounds, there were little choices throughout that process that you might have made to continue that. Now, I'm not saying it's completely your fault or that you completely bowed down to this person and you gave your powers away, etc., etc. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there were little decisions that you made throughout the process that perpetuated it. You may not have started it, but you unconsciously, due to some things that may have been going on, unconscious patterns, you allowed it to continue. So that's what it means. Like, when you take responsibility, you accept the little choices. So the next thing it means to take responsibility is you believe in your perspective. This is something that's extremely important, especially when you're in relationships with narcissists, because when you're in a relationship or you have been in a relationship with a narcissist, they fuck you the way you view things up. So that gaslighting technique is where, like, you literally distrust what you think, what you feel, all that stuff. And that is what can destroy your relationships from then on. Not just with them make you suffer, but then on. Because you'll never believe in your perspective. You need two people in a relationship. You guys might have the same views, but you each have a different perspective because, of course, you're two different people. But if you don't believe in your in your particular perspective, you have issues relating to that other person, which we're going to get to a little bit later. And the third thing it means to take responsibility to heal your relationships is to take the lesson without the attachment. So what does that mean? If you've had a string of 6 boyfriends that all had narcissistic tendencies, instead of you going into your relationship saying, all these people hurt me, and this, that, and the third, and you might be able to now recognize the signs of a narcissist, but you're misinterpreting them. This happens a lot of times with some people who have been abused in the past a lot, like in the example I just provided. So when they come to other people who may be good but have slight tendencies that are like the last person, instead of understanding them, they just like freak out. Or you don't take the lesson. That's the other opposite. You don't take the lesson, but you have the attachment. That's why some people who also have really bad relationships continue to pick the same people, but then have shame around picking the same people. So it's like a reverse, but it's just bad either way. So that's the third thing it means to take responsibility. Now, why should you take responsibility? Because you're going to keep making unconscious decisions. By you taking responsibility, you're returning yourself to the situation. Whether that's in the past or it's in the present. The key to change and making choices is to return yourself to that moment, to that thing with mindfulness. And I'm going to give you a short method on that, but I'm going to give you like a big methodology on it too. But yeah, you're going to keep making unconscious decisions if you don't take responsibility, because since you have the power in your hands of responsibility, obviously you're going to do something with it. So the next reason why it's important to take responsibility is because you'll be looking, you won't be looking to undo the wrongs of your last relationship. This is something that also happens a lot with empaths and healers. They get out of a relationship with someone who they tried to save, but it didn't work. And then they go into a new relationship with a new person. And yes, that person might have issues, not the same as the last one. But they go in trying to save somebody again. That will not work. You cannot undo the wrongs of the past relationship in your new one. And taking responsibility will help you realize that. Because you're going to realize the choices you had then and the ones you had now. So the third reason why taking responsibility to heal your relationships is important is because you'll understand real emotional intimacy and you will be able to respect the person. Like we talked about earlier, you have two different perspectives. Like the person you're with and you have two different perspectives because you're two different people. You might believe the same thing, but you have two different perspectives. So by taking responsibility, you have respect for what you can do and what you can't do. Like, you cannot make someone happy. You can't. You can assist them along their journey of being happy. You can do things to add to why they are happy, but you cannot ultimately make that person happy. And that is part of respect. You respect that they are their own person and they're not a function of you. And you do that by responsibility. And emotional intimacy, which means that you can draw the line between you and that person, but you can still empathize with their perspective because you're taking responsibility for what you can do to help them. The same thing I just talked about, extended into emotions, not just like maybe finances or other boundaries. This is just for emotions because you'll be able to empathize with someone without taking on their struggle and things like that. So yeah, that is why taking responsibility is so important. So how do you start doing that? The way you take responsibility is, I don't know how to put it. It's becoming inherently kind of neutral in your relationships, in your relationships, past and present. So what does it mean to be neutral? It means that you give all you can to the relationship, but you also give all you can to yourself at the same time. So it's like a balance, like a scale. And that neutrality and that balance is what's going to allow you to understand, like we talked about before, what you can and can't control. Realizing what you can and can't control is the key to taking responsibility for your relationships. And in the past, maybe you didn't have this control. You can use this idea of neutrality to look at what happened and say, okay, I'm not going to give it power anymore, but I'm also not going to let it happen again. So that's you moving forward with honesty, with clarity, and dropping off the baggage. Because if you don't take responsibility, you're just going to keep hanging on to the baggage. So you need to be neutral about what happened. And even in present relationships, the reason you do that, not only for what I described, but not to get too esoteric, but like vibrationally. When you balance yourself vibrationally with neutrality, you're going to stop the momentum of any bad things that you may have been perpetuating within the relationship. Now, I know that you can be in a relationship doing the best you can, and the other person can be perpetuating the bad. But in some way, universally, you are also precipitating that bad. So that neutrality will stop the vibrational momentum of whatever bad train may be going on in your relationship presently. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to change the other person or it will change the outcome, but it will definitely change the way you feel about it. And the way you feel about it changing is how you take responsibility and heal the past and present so you can go into future relationships with peace, oneness, and calm. So Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. This message was for anyone who has really bad luck with relationships and you can't heal the past relationships that you had and you can't get over it, and the relationships you're having now are just having so many issues. So you have to take responsibility. So just to cover, what does that look like? It means accepting the little choices throughout. It means believing in your perspective. And it means taking the lesson of the past and the present without the attachment and the chip on your shoulder. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Comment below whatever you feel about this video, if it really spoke with you. And also, if this resonated and you wanted to continue your journey of healing your relationships or just healing your idea of yourself in relation to the world around you, past, present, or future, I would love to assist you on your journey. I do have life path readings as well as healing sessions, energy healing sessions, as well as like counseling sessions and things like that. So definitely contact me or comment below if that would be something you're interested in. Namaste. I love you, to your success, and have a great day.